You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Okay, for my next one, I think actually I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to double up on this one. I'm going to do two games that we
combo.
Yeah, we talk about and we compare a lot, and these are compared and talked about a lot. But I had a chance to play both of them at the con, and I don't believe Carlos played either one of them with me. I think Mitchell might have played one of them with me, but this is one of Carlos's favorites, Lost Ruins of Arnak, and one of my all-time favorites, Dune Imperium. So these games are compared constantly just because I think mostly because they came out close to each other. They have some similar mechanics, although I agree with most of the discussion recently that these are two very different games. They're definitely different weights, I would say. Lost Ruins of Arnak is a little more lighter family weight, a little more, and this is something we talked about pretty extensively at the con, especially with Nick Oben, that Lost Ruins of Arnak gives you a lot more options. There's a lot more freedom. You don't feel as restricted. It's a game that you can play cards and do things in a lot of different ways, and he enjoys it for that reason, that it gives him lots of different paths and lots of different things to do. Dune Imperium, to some extent, is the opposite. Dune Imperium, the reason I love Dune Imperium is because it is so tight. Resources are hard to get. There are a certain number of spaces on the board that you can go to. Usually everybody's trying to go to those same handful of spaces, and so a lot of times if you're first in the turn order, you're going to grab one of those good spots. If not, you got to try to figure out a way to make something work with what you've got, and it's based on what's in your hand, based on the spaces that are available on the board. And Dune is a little infuriating. Sometimes in Dune, you're going to have turns. It's like, I didn't do much with that turn. I just had to maximize what I could get, but that's what I love about it. I can see the flip side of the coin. Again, I can see the people who love Lost Ruins, that it is more fun, more light, more, I don't know the term.
Friendly player experiences.
Friendly player experience. There you go. Dune is a little more thinky. It's a little more, I'm in my game. I'm sitting here hoping, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. I need to go there. And you went there. Oh, now what am I going to do? I'm going to start
How
over.
am I going to get my troops to the combat now?
Yeah, exactly. So, and I love that end of round combat at the end of every round in Dune. You don't have to be in the combat, but there's going to be a combat, and there's going to be some benefits and some rewards for it, and that's like another whole part of the game. You don't have that in Lost Ruins. In Lost Ruins, you're trying to figure out how to move up those tracks. Which thing do I want to optimize this turn to get as many points to push along whichever track? Which cards am I going to pick up to help build this engine to do that thing? Dune, a lot of it is about that end of round combat. There's a bonus victory point out there, and victory points are so tough to come by in Dune. You've got a 10-point scale. So if somebody goes above 10, the game ends. And so I love that part about Dune. I can see the appeal in both games. I got a chance to play both of them. I played Dune at 4-player. We played that. It was me and Nick, and we played with the newest member of the Dice Tower group, Cleghorn. I'm forgetting. Camilla. There you go. Thank you. I was forgetting her first name.
Super nice. She's very affable.
Very nice. Yeah, very friendly. Very friendly. I got a chance to talk to her several times during the con, and she's really friendly, really fun to play a game with, and she'll jump into any game of anything pretty much any time. So a lot of fun. And then we, a group of us from our group from Tampa, played Lost Ruins of Arnak. Did you get in on that? Mitch, I can't remember if you played that with us or not.
I mean, I've played Arnak before, but I didn't get to play Arnak at the con.
Yeah, but two good games. I'm going to rate them very similar here. I'm going to give Dune a 9. That again, I think Dune is in my top 10 games of all time now, Dune Imperium, and I can't wait for the expansion to come out. Lost Ruins of Arnak is right behind it. I'm going to give it an 8. We kind of play up sometimes, that, especially between me and Carlos, because we're on both sides of that coin, that I love one and hate the other, and he loves one and hates the other. I think we both enjoy both of them, and we'll get his opinions on that in a minute, but I do enjoy both. They are different experiences, and I enjoy them in different crowds, but Dune, I feel, is more the gamer's game, the more gritty game. Lost Ruins is going to be more, I'd love to play with the kids. I'd love to play, I don't have to think as much. It's just a quick game I want to get in. Well, I wouldn't say quick, but they're fairly similar in length. But anyway, what are your opinions? I believe you played both, haven't you, Mitchell?
Yeah, I played both. Actually, You guys taught me Lost Ruins of Arnak last time I was in town.
Right. Yep.
I like both games a lot. I think they're very similar, where you either play a card for its suit to place a worker somewhere, or you play a card for its ability, which is weird that they both came out at the same time with that kind of unique combo mechanic. Like I said, I didn't get to play Arnak at the con. I did get to play Dune Imperium. They were really beefed up. They had like little bottles of spice. It was really cool. Yeah. You guys' game of Dune was very, very long, though. I don't know. That was the longest game I think
It tends to run long, yeah.
I actually got to play the expansion unreleased. It was actually the day that the embargo ended.
That's right.
At first, they were telling us we couldn't take pictures of it. They're like, "Oh no, the embargo ended today." The Rise of Ix expansion, actually taught by Mr. Tom Bassel himself, and I got to play with him. It was fun. So if you know Dune, it doesn't change things in a huge way. One of the major changes is that you have dreadnoughts, which is another type of unit, which is worth 3 in a combat. And what's interesting is they never die. So if you win a combat, you go and you place Carlos's face. You go and you place them on one of those little like banner locations where you get the bonus that you could win, and you could cover up people's banners. And after that next round, it goes back into your camp for future combat. There were also technology tiles that could be passive or one time. And then the thing that I like the most, there was a new track called the shipping track, where whenever you get the action to move on the shipping track, you can either move up one space or down all the way. So if you go all the way to the top before you move down, you get all the benefits on the track. But if you need something more immediate, you can go up like at 1 or 2 spaces on the track and then go down and just get those benefits. That was kind of cool. This new shipping track covered up some spaces on the board that, in my opinion, you very rarely see. It's some of the green.
It was the green, the council part, right? The political portion.
There was still the High Council, but it was someone to the right, and it also covered up the ability to trade spice. Which one of the guys I was playing with, he said he works for Simon, and Dune is one of his like favorite games ever. He's like, "How the heck are we supposed to? Is it buying or selling spice up at the top right?"
Top right,
usually. Yeah, I don't think he was too hot on that getting covered up. But Tom Vassell said, I don't think he was serious, but he was going to glue this new overlay onto the board to always play with it.
I heard him say that. Yeah.
Yeah, the technologies I could do with or without, but the shipping track and the dreadnoughts were cool. On both of these games, it's going to seem a little crazy, but I am always willing to play either of these games. I think they're both 10s for me, both Dune and Arnak.
I gotta say, Mitch is more on the extremes with his rating. I guess I'm very much more conservative.
2s and 10s.
Yeah. He either loves it or hates it.
That is true, though. Yes, I do love it or hate it.
For me, Rob shared a lot of my thoughts already in the game. I did write down my numbers before Rob spoke about his, so we can see kind of where we align.
Yeah.
I gave both games 8s.
Oh, okay.
As much as I like to give gruff on the differences of the two, and I think part of it is because Rob picked up Dune and I picked up Arnak, so you got to kind of root for your home team.
Our side, yeah.
At the end of the day, when I rate both games, they're equal.
Okay.
They're equal to me.
It's all about theme versus mechanics, I think. I think we had talked about that before. Arnak definitely has better aesthetics, but I think Dune is more mechanics based.
Yeah, but Dune has that flow that I really like, that build up to the conflict, whether you're in it or not. You know, watching that conflict happen each round is fun. Arnak doesn't have that tension that builds up towards the end. When you talked about the expansion,
I get stressed in Dune, not in Arnak.
Yes, that's the thing. I get stressed in Dune, not so much in Arnak, because the monsters really don't scare me.
Agreed.
I'll take my fear card. Let's move on.
Yep.
But when you talked about the mechs, what'd you call them? Dreadnoughts?
Dreadnoughts. Ships.
Yeah, my eyes lit up because that's part of the negative play experience of Dune is you use it, you lose it. Right? Anything you send to the conflict is gone. And so it's why I don't like bidding games where you bid something and you lose the bid, right?
Yeah.
It's a negative play experience. Now, if there's an option to spend more resources to get something that is more permanent, like a dreadnought, I think I'm going to enjoy that too, because I would be the one that does spend all of the resources instead of buying regular troops. I want them to all be dreadnoughts so I can always use them, but that may not end up winning.
You can only get 2, but
yeah, you're limited.
They're pretty powerful.
Because it kind of sucks when you put everything into the conflict and then you end up maybe getting second place in the conflict and now you're out. You're not in any conflict for the next 2 rounds until you build up.
The thing that was nice, and I didn't plan to do this, it kind of just happened. I ended up getting both of my dreadnoughts. So the thing is, if I use one at a time, I can always have a dreadnought in because it's only the one in a conflict that goes out into the board and the other one you keep in reserve. It was a nice kind of little combo.
That's a great decision point, right? Limiting you to one, but always being able to use it. Dune, great game. Arnak, great game. Both of them, different feels, but I'll play either one anytime.
Yeah, and just real quick, we've been trying to hit him up here. Publisher for Dune, Direwolf, designer Paul Denham. And on Lost Ruins of Arnak, we've got Czech Games Edition, CGE, and the designer Min Elwin, Elwen. And let me just ratings 8.1 currently on Arnak and 8.3 for Dune. So I mean they're almost identical in their ratings.
I think if you average out our ratings, it's right about exactly that.
Yep, right on.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.